Oh, we are live. All right, all right. Am I coming in all right? Turn this down. I am lit up like a firecracker. Can y'all hear me? That's orange. Yeah. Oh, there's Nancy. Brother Don. I'm trying to get my light set right. I think that's a little too orange. Loud and clear. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. I'm not on my computer, if you guys can tell. I think that may be alright. Maybe it's not too bright. Oh, good deal. Brother Jeff. Jeff's here. That makes me feel good. Good deal. It's good to see you, Brother Jeff. Always good to see you. I'm on the tablet tonight. But Butch is here. Good deal. With the tablet, I am on YouTube Live. I'm not using StreamYard. And I did not have time to set it up. We were on the go all day today. And I got home, was about ready to set up for a show, and got called, and we had to go pick the van up on Panama City Beach. And so we had been home probably 30 minutes now, and so I'm late. I wanted to do an early show today, so I wouldn't interfere with our other brothers and sisters who have shows that are running tonight, Friday night. Hey, Debbie. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to have a hard time going back and doing the trying to scroll back in the chat. Please forgive me for that. On the tablet, YouTube Live works differently than what StreamYard does. StreamYard's quite simple. YouTube Live, I'd have to actually touch the screen on this tablet. I've touched the screen to scroll it, and it messes up all kind of things. Hey, Mike. Good deal. Mike's here also. Awesome, awesome. So good to see everybody. Kevin's northwest corner of Illinois. I would like to be there right now. I think y'all are going through a cool down now. We're getting it Sunday. It's coming through early Sunday morning, late Saturday night. Thank you, Brother Butch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, if you do, if you like what you go through and experience with us over here, please support us and hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. It does raise us up a little bit on the YouTube's analytics on where they put our videos at. When people do a search in the search bar in YouTube, it'll put us closer to the top if they type in anything in regards that are relevant to our videos, and I greatly appreciate it. But thank you all. Debbie, thank you greatly. God bless you. Thank you. We've got, I'm gonna go over some more articles that we have. Brother Don has sent some more in. He sent a bunch of stuff in. I'm quite behind on it. We have had a very, very hectic week. Hey, mini birds. Yes, we are doing very good. We get, we lost one of our goats, Cookie. I think about 2 weeks ago. And we lost Molly a few days ago. And we went ahead and we had them do a necropsy on her because she had no parasites. They done an autopsy, and they found that there was nothing wrong with her. There was no reasoning behind her going down that quick. She got sick one day, wasn't doing well. She was just down, wasn't feeling right. The next day, we took her to the vet on an emergency call, and she passed away before we can get her home. And it's some type of bacterial thing, but they say that they told Kim that it's the same bacterial infection that got Cookie. and now some other people, goat farmers, are dealing with the exact same bacteria, and they don't know what it is yet. So I'm hoping that's the end of it. Our beloved Cookie, we got him cremated, and the man called me today, and they're finished with him. They're going to be bringing his remains to us tomorrow, and so we'll get our little Cookie back. But it's just been absolutely insane this past week or so. But everybody's good. We're as good as can be. We'll make the best of it. And I am on the tablet for those that didn't hear me. And so we are, I can't even see where my battery is on it. I'm afraid to touch the screen, but we are on battery power. I do not have a spare plug over here to plug it up. And I can't do it outside because the kennel I use to keep the goats from getting up to me and eating my paperwork and flipping my tablet over, they knocked the kennel off of their little box house and they completely disassembled it. So there's 7 goats laying on top of the box house right now. So it would be a train wreck if I tried to do this out there. So good to see everybody. Skunk Ape, Farm Off Grid. It's awesome to see you. Absolutely. And what we're doing tonight, for those this may be the first time over here, these are news articles, and some of them date way back into the 1800s. Many of them are very short. Some of them are really long, and the way that they word their paragraphs, it sounds a little goofy. Hey, Deborah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you greatly. So when I'm reading these, some of it's going to sound like that well, there are words that I will mispronounce because they are provinces and areas in Alaska, and a lot of them are in a native dialect, and I do not know that dialect. Hey, Toby, it's good to see you. Absolutely. But anyhow, we got, let me see, I'm going to try to make the best of this. I don't know how much time we got on this tablet battery, but we are going to do the best we absolutely can. Okay, we're going to start with some short ones. I think it's four short articles here, and then we're going to jump over, and I got a long one. We're just going to have some fun, and here's some of these old news articles that date all over the place. Hey, Dale. Texas Jack. It's good to see you. Absolutely. So very good to see you. Awesome. We'll make this quick. Jack can't be here along with us, and so we're going to make the best of it. Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start, you guys. If y'all are ready, we're going to get on with it. And this one's titled Naugatuck, Alaska Wild Man's Arctic Kingdom of 1935. Hey, Ken. My editor I use is Power Director for my videos. I do Power Director. Normally I do StreamYard to do the live streams, the live shows. Tonight we're using YouTube Live, which it works very fast, but it's I'd rather do it on StreamYard. But I'm on my tablet, so we're kind of limited. Not a Yankee. Oh, I just seen his comment. I'm so afraid I'm going to mess something up. Let me see if I can pull that down. I'm seeing my finger. Oh, Lordy, Nottingham Yankee's been in the hospital with COVID. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, Lord. We'll absolutely be praying for you. Add Nottingham Yankee to your prayers, guys. Please. Let's get prayers out for him. People dealing with these sicknesses, they are bad. Kim and I went through it. My sister went through it. It's bad. It's nothing to play with. It's very serious. Just make sure you keep your vitamin intake. Keep yourself, up to speed as far as your minerals and supplements that your body needs to beat this mess. But I'm so glad that you're here with us. Absolutely not. I'm Yankee. We would have to pause for a very long time if something happens to you. So don't leave us. We need you here. Absolutely. All right. Where are we at? All right. The year is 1935. The location is Naugatuck, Alaska. And the source for this newspaper article is the Advocate of Newark, Ohio, January 19th of 1935. Prospectors say wild man rules the Arctic kingdom. Anchorage, Alaska, January 19th. Out of the isolated district north of Bristol Bay comes a tale of the wild man of the Naugatuck, a nebulous terror, jealousy, garden, and empire which, even on larger maps, is an unexplored white patch with dotted lines for streams. Charles J. Dumbleton, sourdough prospector of many years in Yukon and Klondike Valley camps, told the story today after arriving by plane from a season of prospecting 125 miles from the near settlement. The wild man is believed in so firmly by a few men in the area that they have drawn a voluntary boundary to their northern trips. While he has made no effort to investigate the wild man's authenticity, Dumbleton said he found trappers feared to venture beyond their own established frontier, the King Salmon River. He said the wild man, perhaps some man crazed by loneliness, has been reported seen several times and is blamed for the disappearance of several men who have ventured into the region of the upper Naugatuck and its tributaries during the last several seasons. The wild man's empire is a vast region between the south-flowing upper Naugatuck and the westward-flowing middle course of the Kuskokwim. That was interesting. And that was 1935, Naugatuck, Alaska. It's a little easier to turn pages now. My finger is working. I can move it, but I have to keep it covered. It don't look so good right now. It's a big, huge lump of scar tissue, and it's not quite closed up. There's no infection, but it's a little rough. Hey, Judy. I just seen Judy in there. And Bama Bigfoot was there somewhere. Well, darn. I seen you go by Bama Bigfoot. I'm on YouTube Live, and I'm afraid to touch the screen and knock myself out of it. I did that one time. I'm on a tablet because I have not got the computer set up to we're rearranged in the room where the computer's at, and I want to get this problem fixed with the clicking you guys are hearing in the microphone, and we have not. We're working in here, but we're not finished. We got a long ways to go, so I'll be on the tablet probably the next couple of times we do this, but I'll have it up and going soon. All right, we are. The page is stuck together. There we go. All right, this is Kaluka, Wrangell, 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 Narrows, and Ruby. Wrangell, Narrows, and Ruby. Alaska Bushman Encounters of 1940 to 1943. In 1940, or the one in 1940. In 2006, Board and Board noted a report collected by John Green regarding a female black-haired creature that was captured near Kaluka, Alaska. It fed on raw fish but became ill and died. The second one is dated 1942. It was written in 1978. Former Bigfoot investigator John Green noted that Bob Titmus saw an upright ape on the coast, possibly near Wrangell Narrows. Titmus refused to believe his eyes at that time. And in 1943, it was also written in 78, former Bigfoot investigator John Green noted that a man, John Meyer, living at DeWild's camp near Ruby, Alaska, was attacked by a hairy man before dogs drove it off. Meyer died of injuries sustained in the attack. Jeez, that ain't good. Sometimes I wonder if some of these attacks weren't one of the werewolf things, the dogman creatures. They just don't give enough detail in these old reports. He was attacked by a wild hairy man. Scary nonetheless. All right. I think this one is... All right, this is also a short one. Portlock, Alaska disappearances and mutilations in the 1940s. The location is Portlock, Alaska, on the Lower Kenai Peninsula. Information sources is the eyewitness testimony given to former Bigfoot investigator John Green and the Daily News of Anchorage, Alaska, 1973. Are dated in the 1940s and written in 1978. John Green noted that the cannery village of Portlock, Alaska, on the Kenai Peninsula was abandoned in 1949 because of ongoing tales of 18-inch footprints while tracking moose. There has also been stories of hunters going into the hills and disappearing or being found mutilated in ways unlikely for bear attacks. A 1973 Anchorage Daily News article noted that the town was still abandoned and former residents refused to spend a night there. Gee whiz. I'm wondering if that's the same one I had read a year ago or longer, that one of the hunters was attacked and they sent in a search team, and they found him and he was near the creek and he was folded in half, but backwards at the waist. His heels were against the back of his head. He was literally snapped in half, and he was packed under the roots of a tree on the bank, and that's how they found him. They seen his body packed up in the roots. I'm wondering if that's the same one. That's a horrible way to go. All right, this is Yellow Jacket Creek, the Alaska Cannibal Giants, 1963. The location is Yellow Jacket Creek, Alaska, on the Nelchina Plateau. The information source is the Sports Afield magazine, a 1963 article. Ivan T. Sanderson located a 1963 story in Sports Afield about a mountain man, Tex Cobb, who spent years in Alaska and Canada. While camping near Yellow Jacket Creek on the Nelchina Plateau, Cobb and Russell Annabelle met up with a group of Dana, who told them that one of the Gilyuk cannibal giants was in the area. They showed sign of the creature's presence, a birch sapling with a 4-inch diameter that had been twisted apart. The Dana chief, Stickman, was later found missing, his tattered clothes found next to the lake's edge. All believed he had been taken by the Gilyuk. The cannibal giant. Wow. That's the ones I don't like hearing. Hey, Flat Rock. And there's Addie. Awesome, awesome. Harvey's here. Wow. Good deal. So good to see everybody. Guys and gals, I am on my tablet tonight. I'm not on the computer. I have not got it put back together. We're working on straightening up this room where we can organize an office. Hey, Francesca, you're not late. We're going to try to knock some of these out. Hey, Malachite. Awesome. We're going to try to knock some of these out tonight. We have, there's a few people here that can't stay long, and so I'm just trying to get with it kind of quick. That's Kim in the background, you guys hear. Um, and I'm on the tablet, so I'm running on battery power. And I do not know how to pull up how much battery I got on here. JK. Hey, brother, it's good to see you. Good deal. I'm trying to get these pages unstuck. All right, let's see. I think this is a long one. All right, the second one is a long one. I ate a lemon jawbreaker and I got a piece of it stuck in my tooth and it's making my mouth water. All right, we're gonna start with a short one. All right, this is titled Colebrook, South Norfolk, Connecticut Wild Man Sightings of 1891. The location is near Colebrook, Connecticut, and the South Norfolk area, Litchfield County. The newspaper source for this article is the Times of New York, August 30th, 1891, and September 4th, 1891. Titled, The Wild Man May Be a Gorilla. Winsted, Connecticut, August 29th. Passengers on Hall's stage from Colebrook yesterday saw an animal cross the highway, leap a fence, and then stand on its hind legs. As the stage drew near, the animal ran into the woods. The passengers say it was very large gorilla, and it was supposed to be the animal that was heretofore reported as a wild man, as it was seen in the same locality as that where the wild man was said to frequent. The gorilla probably escaped from some circus years ago. During last winter, a gorilla inhabited the woods in South Norfolk. Searching for the wild man. Hartford, Connecticut, September 8th. When the Sandusfield stage reached Colebrook near Winsted at 10 o'clock this morning, Miss Culver ran from her house and stopped the stage driver. She said that the wild man, or gorilla, whichever it is, spent the night on her doorstep. She was greatly alarmed. Miss Culver begged that help be summoned to catch the local terror. 6 policemen and a large body of citizens set out from Winsted as soon as the stage reached there, and the country around Miss Culver's house will be thoroughly searched for the wild man. Well, in Connecticut. Okay, and this looks like a continuation of that article. Hey, Michael. Yay, more bedtime stories. Yep, hallelujah. All right, and this one's long, but it's about the same being, I believe. Winsted, East Norfolk, Connecticut, wild man sightings of 1895. And all right, the one I just read was 1891. This is the same area, but this is 1895. Stash Man. All right. Yep, year 1895. The locations: Winsted, Connecticut, and the East Norfolk area, Litchfield County. The newspaper sources for this article is the Courant of Hartford, Connecticut, August 21st, 26th, and September 5th of 1895. The transcript of North Adams, Massachusetts, August 23rd, 26th, and the 30th of 1895. A wild man. He appears to Selectman Smith and scares his bulldog. Last Saturday, Selectman Riley W. Smith went up to Colebrook on business. Mr. Smith, while there, went over into the fields and began picking and eating berries from the low bushes in the field. While he was stooping over picking berries, his bulldog, which is noted for its pluck, ran with the wine to him and stationed itself between his legs. Mr. Smith, being in a bent over position picking berries, a second afterwards, a large man, stark naked and covered with hair all over his body, ran out of a clump of bushes and with fearful yells and cries made for the woods at lightning speed, where he soon disappeared. Selectman Smith is a powerful, wiry man and has the reputation of having lots of sand, and his bulldog is also noted for his pluck. But Riley admits that he was badly scared and that his dog was fairly paralyzed with fear. If any of the readers of The Citizen have lost a wild hairy man of the woods 6 feet in height and want to find him, they can go up to Colebrook and, when near the Lewis place, wander around in the woods and fields and perhaps recover their lost property. And these are serious articles. Florida boys. There's Carol and Bill King. Awesome. Welcome. And there's Brother Mark. It's good to see everyone. I'm sorry, guys. That just kind of cracked me up. The guy says, if anybody lost a Bigfoot, you can come up here and find him. I like it. All right. Now we're still on the same article. Built like a horse. Wild man creates terror among farmers around Engine Meadow. He scares brutes as well as human beings. Posse to organize and make a determined effort at capture. Winsted, Connecticut, August 23rd. The wild man was seen again yesterday by passengers on Dodge Stage, en route to Winsted from Sandusfield, Massachusetts. He was in the same tract of brush as when seen last He was in the same tract of brush as was seen last Saturday by Sebastian Smith, which is 5 miles from here, on the old and lonesome highway leading to Colebrook. The wild man lives in Engine Meadow, as it is known to the countrymen. He is thought to be one of a family of 3 wild men seen 2 years ago. The man seen by Mr. Smith had no clothes but was covered with hair. The wild man seen in Canaan Mountain a few years ago is thought to be the same person. Farmers in that section are terrorized and afraid to go out of doors after dark, and the robberies and henneries and mysterious disappearance of calves, lambs, and even Sandusfield and Colebrook farms are blamed upon the wild man. 500 men leave here Sunday morning to hunt for this strange character. They will go out in gangs and surround Engine Meadow and Cobble Mountain. And Cobble Mountain farmers have given the use of their teams free, while every man of the posse is warned to go armed. On Saturday, Riley Smith was coming over the road, stopped to pick a few berries, but no sooner had he commenced to eat than the wild man emerged from the center of a batch of berry bushes. Smith was about scared to death. His dog commenced to whine, and with his tail between its legs, sought refuge in Smith's wagon under a pile of blankets. Mr. Smith described the man as an awful-looking sight. He is large in stature, and his head is the most conspicuous part of his body, being nearly the size of a horse's head. His teeth resemble those of a horse in size, but are pointed. His hands are extra large. Winsted's manhunt. 200 men joined the search for the wild man. Cave found with bones and a shoe in it. Was formerly the resort of horse thieves. Page is stuck together. Sorry. Let me back up. Was formerly the resort of horse thieves. A scared constable runs into a barbed wire fence, and Selectman Smith was conspicuous by his absence, but the wild man was not obliging enough to be caught. Winsted, August 25th. The Sunday quiet of this inoffensive village was disturbed today by the tramp of armed men. In the early dawn, they began to gather in front of the Beardsley house, and long before the hour appointed to set out on the hunt for the wild man, scores of men and youths were lounging about, examining their firearms and talking about the prospective hunt. The scene could not be duplicated short of a sortie against the Indians 100 years ago. The word had been passed around for everyone to come armed, and the injunction had been heeded. It was at once apparent that he must be a remarkable wild man who could escape the clutches of these lusty fellows. The display at arms, those of iron, not flesh, was something to wonder at. Flintlocks of pre-revolutionary days were modern compared to some of the apparatus on exhibition. The firearms market has been short over since the wild man was first reported seen, and the result was plainly evident in the rusty old carbines, smooth bores, and horse pistols that were carried. Some up-to-date young men had Winchesters swung over their shoulders and tried to look as unconcerned as if this were an everyday occurrence with them. Others boasted finely mounted revolvers slipped in silver-trimmed holsters and had buckled about their waists ammunition belts well filled with cartridges. Some had their pistols in their hip pockets, and those there were whose rear pockets were filled with something else. Knives were a favorite weapon to judge from the number carried. There was a Negro or two in the party, and of course they carried theirs in their boots. Others had them tucked away in a jaunty fashion under the belt or carried them in their hands. Dirks, bowie knives, the bush knife or machete, big double-bladed jackknives, pig stickers, and rapiers were in evidence, and there were several who carried clubs, baseball bats, and slingshots. If a small army of British were to be killed and quartered, the party need not have gone out better armed. Most of the men who started from here belonged in Winsted, although a few came in from out of town, and 2 or 3 New York newspapermen were in the party. The hour for starting was 8 o'clock sharp, and by that time 125 or more were chafing against any further delay. So the start was made, most of the hunters hoofing it. Several teams joined the procession, a few were on horseback, and the genuine manhunt that the skeptical had said would never come off had auspiciously begun. It is about 3 miles as the crow flies from the Beardsley house, Winsted, to the locality where, if the veracious story of Selectman Smith is to be believed, his Nibs, the wild man, was last met. Horse, foot, and dragoons were on the spot in about an hour, and the business of the day was ready to be transacted. Along the route and to the place of rendezvous had come a distinctly different class of hunters from those who started out from Winsted. These were the farmers who lived in the vicinity of the wild man's domain. None of them came without weapons, and they were of curious and antique design. One had an old-fashioned blunderbuss, and another a brace of horse pistols, such as were used in the Mexican War. Many of them said they hadn't had firearms in their hands for 30 years. It had been said that the farmers in the neighborhood scouted the wild man's story as a fake, pure and simple, and to test his statement, the current reporter asked several of them what they thought about it. In 8 out of 10 cases, he found these farmers believed in the genuineness of the wild man. Said one, "Doubt it? No, and I know a man who has lost chickens and sheep has seen him. I sleep with an axe under my bed and a gun in the corner." The opinion in Winsted is about evenly divided. The party numbered 200 strong when the desolate Losal place had been reached, horses and teams having been left behind on the main road. This was the farm, which is owned by Selectman R.W. Smith, where a week ago Saturday, Mr. Smith claims to have been scared out of a year's growth by a real wild man, naked and hairy, a veritable monstrum horrendum inform ingens. That's a lot to say. The party divided up into squads of 8 or 10, each squad with a leader, and started out in different directions so that the whole neighborhood was patrolled. One party was under the leadership of Michael Langdon. Another was led by John Robert Cleveland, and men living in the vicinity took charge of other squads. The search was kept up till sunset. A great many went without food, some went without drink. A few carried lunch, but the rest of the search kept nearly the whole party till late in the afternoon. What is regarded as the big find of the afternoon was an old cave on the Beardsley farm. Old residents remember this cave to have been the resort years ago of a gang of horse thieves who made midnight raids on the farmers' barns and carried away their horse flesh over the Massachusetts line to swap and sell. The entrance to the cave is overgrown with underbrush and is so small that one can only enter by crawling on hands and knees. After a little, one finds it possible to stand upright, and soon a chamber is reached which a dozen men could occupy comfortably. In this cave were found some comparatively fresh bones and an old shoe. That's all. But it was enough to make many believe that they had found one of the wild man's haunts. And outside there were footprints of naked feet. In the cave was a fireplace and the remains of a fire, and one of the party that entered claims to have found a bottle of milk there. The genuineness of the fluid is uncertain. The most laughable incident of the day was the scare Constable Gillett had. This doughty official of the peace was armed with a revolver and was searching in the underbrush some distance from his companion when he heard a rustle in the brush, and says he thought he saw a human form. He gave a scream of fright and started, all oblivious of his firearms, on the keen run, only to bring up sharp against a barbed wire fence. He was somewhat cut against the hands and face, and had to stand any amount of good-natured chaffing from his friends. Some persons claim that a man who is suffering with delirium tremens and is confined in an adjacent farmhouse is responsible for the wild man scare. They say he escaped from the house a week ago, and it was 2 or 3 days before he was recaptured. When he was found, it is said he was stark naked and raving mad. They say this man had only his shirt on when he left the house and soon got rid of that. They think it was this man Selectman Smith saw, but his imagination played played him tricks when he talked about the man's shaggy hair and long fingernails. Selectman Smith did not join the search today. He said he'd had enough of wild men and would let others do the hunting. Why not hunt the hermit? Winsted, August 25th. Some picnickers recently located a small cabin in the Colebrook Woods and ran to town saying they had seen the wild man's cabin in the woods. Investigation today showed it to be the present quarters of Mort Pond, a hermit who has lived in the forest the past 20 years. Searching parties are liable to start out any time. The inhabitants of Colebrook and other small hamlets north as far as Sandusfield, Massachusetts, propose to organize among themselves to hunt the terror. A fruitless search. 300 armed men scoured the woods for the wild man. West Winsted, Connecticut, August 26th. The hunt for the wild man in the wilds of Colebrook yesterday was made by a posse of 300 armed men, but all their scouring was of no avail. The only trace of the wild man to be seen were his footprints. A hut was also discovered on the Beardsley farm, a half-mile south of where the wild man had frightened so many people. A fireplace and a bottle, quarter filled with milk, were all there to be found within the hut. Farmers think it is one of his homes. Wild man's identity. Strange marauder, now known to be a full-grown gorilla, has been prowling around for 3 years. Will be found, hard to shoot and still harder to capture. Winsted, Connecticut, August 30th. The Connecticut wild man that has divided honors with the sea serpent is a full-grown gorilla. John G. Hall runs a stage between here and Sandusfield, Massachusetts. While he was passing through Colebrook, a large animal crossed the highway on all fours and leaped a stone wall. Hall and his passengers at first thought it was a wild man. The animal, when the stage approached, stood erect. Hall drew a revolver. The beast did not stir. Hall stopped his horses and was getting a good aim at the brute when off it sped on 4 feet into the engine meadows, uttering awful cries. Miss Michonne and Miss Sadie Woodhouse of New York City, who were summering at Colebrook, also encountered the animal while they were driving in Winsted. The creature, when they espied it in the engine meadow, was standing upright. They are positive that the wild man is the gorilla. They see it has large white teeth, black hair, a muscular form, and is about 6.5 feet tall. It is thought the gorilla made its escape from some circus and has since made its home among the Litchfield Hills. It has been heard from in Norfolk, East Canaan, North Goshen, and Sandusfield, Massachusetts. The gorilla spent last winter in the southeastern part of Norfolk. Charles Benson of that town saw it jump from a tree. The brute chased him into the house. A party of Norfolk people saw it enter a hole in the mountain last spring, and after closing the opening with huge chains, they went to bed. In the morning, they found the chains broken. John Williams of West Norfolk met the gorilla 3 years ago while he was turning home one night. The ground was covered with snow, and the footprints of the animal were traced into the mountains. A son of Richard Parson, a Sandusfield farmer, saw the gorilla steal one of his rabbits. Miss George Marvin of South Norfolk saw the gorilla robbing her hen roost one morning last winter. It became so hungry that nearly every farmer in the outskirts of Norfolk saw it prowling about his farm. Carl Moore and Joseph Bruley shot at the gorilla last winter, but birdshot had no effect. The late wild man. 50 Winsted people hunt him, but do not find him. Winsted, September 3rd. Miss Culver, mother of Postmaster Culver of Colebrook, stopped Hall's stage this morning saying that she had seen the wild man a short distance from her home this morning. She was very much excited and asked that a party might be sent out to hunt him down. The chief of police put his 6 officers on the track, and a number of citizens joined in the chase. The impression is that the wild man is an escaped lunatic and that he may be dangerous. All accounts agree that he is a very large man. E.L. Perkins, who saw the wild man 2 weeks ago Sunday, saw him again this morning about 7:30 o'clock. Mr. Perkins was on the road from Norfolk to Colebrook, and the wild man peeped over the wall and at him and then ran off towards a swamp. The party of 50 or more Winsted people who started off the hunt after him at 11 o'clock returned this evening, none of the searchers having a glimpse of the strange object they were pursuing. They were armed with guns and pistols and carried handcuffs. The party went in a northerly direction towards what is the wildest section of Connecticut, a region so extensive and so inaccessible that a force of 1,000 men would have hard work to run the wild man down. If he is captured, it will be because of some accidental circumstances that places him. Miss Culver and Mr. Perkins agree in the description of the wild man as a large man dressed in very ragged garments, ragged shoes and hat, and with but little resemblances of clothes in the rags he wore. His hair hanging on his shoulders and his beard are jet black. He is apparently about 45 years old. Wow. Well, what do y'all think about that one? That was long. That was absolutely fascinating. Let's see. We got... I got one more. I'm going to do this short one here. I think it's one article. It's not very long. This is the Naugatuck, East Norfolk, Connecticut wildman sightings of 1898 through 1905. The location is Naugatuck in East Norfolk, Connecticut, New Haven County. The newspaper sources for these articles is the Daily News of Naugatuck, Connecticut, June 29th, 1898, and the Daily Press of Middleton, New York, December 30th of 1905. What terrible nightmares some people have. The 4 Danbury men who claim to have seen a wild man 9 feet tall and weighing about 500 pounds in the woods between High Rock Grove and Naugatuck sometime between 11 and 12 o'clock one night last week must have had some terrible dreams that night. They should consult a physician at once and undergo a treatment for their malady. Another such dream might prove fatal. Gorilla hunt in Connecticut. Stamford, Connecticut, December 30th. Several East Norfolk youths, among them Herbert Silcox and Fred Carr, had a lively encounter with a gorilla in the woods near Dr. Charles B. O'Hannon's farm. The gorilla is supposed to have escaped from the winter quarters of the Barnum and Bailey show. The boys treed the big animal, and Silcox climbed the tree with a big rope and attempted to capture it. The gorilla flew at him in a rage, and he came tumbling to earth, and the animal escaped. That's a brave guy to climb a tree after him with a rope. Sasquatch girl, it is so good to see you. 24 baby bull. Awesome. That's a hard one to say. 24 baby bull. Yeah, I can't believe two guys get one run up a tree, and then one of them goes up the tree after him with a rope. Yeah, that that wasn't going to end well, was it? That's brave. That is definitely, that's not for me. Uh, Let me see what we got in this one. We got here coming up sometime soon. We got some. We're gonna go off a different track. I've got some stuff I gotta pull up. I gotta find my emails that were sent in to be shared, and I cannot find it. So I've got to figure out where they're at. But I want to get them out and share them with you guys. And I got another one, a lady. I believe she's local to Florida. I don't know if she's local to where we live, but she's have had a lot of encounters with a lot of demons, a lot of demonic stuff. And she had asked me about sharing them. She wants to share them and get them off her back. And I said, yeah, absolutely. We will definitely do that. And I'm waiting to hear back from her. That was this morning I spoke with her last. So hopefully sometime soon I'll be receiving what she's encountered. And it's evidently a lot of stuff that she's went through. And as soon as I get that, I'll be sharing that with all of you as well. Yeah, Mark, I'm right there with you. You know, there's so many people that call these creatures an ape or a monkey and a gorilla. I don't see the resemblance. Um, they're something unique. They are their own being. Whatever they truly are, they are in a group. I don't think they're affiliated with any form of monkey or ape. That's just my feelings on it. No, Sandy, I've not been sick. We have been running ragged this last week and a half. It's been really rough, and I had to actually force myself to take time to do this show tonight, and I really didn't have time to do it. But yesterday, I made my mind up that I was definitely going to, regardless of what happened. I was aiming to do it a couple of hours before sundown because we have a lot of brothers and sisters out here on YouTube that have channels that do live shows on Friday nights. And normally it's between 7 and 9 Central Time that they do their shows. And I didn't want to interfere with them because most of those channels are monetized and their income is based off of people doing super chat and contributing funds toward them, and of course the advertisements. And it just wouldn't. It for me, it doesn't feel right for me to take that from them. And we're not monetized. We don't make anything at all here. I have no intentions of monetizing Standing Goats Rescue. We will eventually do a second channel, and that one we will monetize, and I will let you know when we get to that point. We're trying to get it worked out because we don't rely on everything we do here. Is it comes out of our pocket, out of our own money. We don't make money off what we do with the goats. We don't profit in any way from it. But we're just trying to figure out a way to make it easier on us. You know, we got so many animals. We love them all, and we want them to have the best life we can give them while they're here. They're a living creature just like we are, and they deserve the best we can do for them. Yep, Dale, there's a lot of people that believe that the Sasquatch were an abomination, and I, I don't like them, and my personal views on them, I don't like them at all. They scare me. I just, I wish we could get a solid answer, a truthful answer from the governing bodies of the world explaining to us what these things truly are. And I believe whatever the answer would be, I think it would answer a lot of questions that so many people have on them. But there's something about these creatures, these Sasquatch, these Bigfoot, that the government don't want us to know. They're trying to keep it quiet. And because of that, I believe it's either going to contradict what we've been taught on a biblical aspect. I think it's going to contradict that religion as a whole, or it's going to contradict the theory that we were taught through school that we are descendants of monkeys. I forget what they call that theory, that we evolved from a monkey to where we're at now. And I've never believed that. We're entitled free will to believe in any way that we want, and that's something I just don't believe. If we evolved from monkeys, there wouldn't be any monkeys. Evolution, Stashman, yes, but I don't remember what they call it. But yes, it is evolution, absolutely. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, one of the things I'm kind of, what fits the description for me when it comes to the Bigfoot creatures is that they are descendants of Cain. They fit the bill as far as when God cursed Cain for killing Abel. It would make sense. Part of the curse was that Cain would he'd roam the earth for all of his days, and he would seek death but never find it. And that is, in my view, in my opinion, that is labeling Cain as being immortal until the end of the days, evidently. But if he's immortal, God cursed him, changed his appearance, made it to where he could survive in the wilderness, but made him look to where anybody that sees him would know, who he was. They would know by his visual appeal. He would be grotesque, and it fits the bill. And then they had I read an article. Most of you know it. I can't remember it, but there was a researcher, or not. It wasn't Daniel Boone or Crockett or wherever it was. But he was on horseback, and this Bigfoot come out of the woods right up to him, and he's on the back of a horse, and he's looking this creature. They're eye to eye. This thing's, I don't know, 9 foot, 10 foot tall, and looking straight into his eyes, and he tells him that he's Cain. The Bigfoot, tells him that he was Cain, and that's just it's crazy. But part of the free will that we were given at birth is we can choose to believe whatever we feel is right in our spirit. Nobody knows. Nobody on earth, no human on earth, I don't believe, truly knows what these creatures are. So we could all be right, or we could all be wrong. There's no telling. It could be everything that all the many different beliefs of what they are. These things could be a little bit of all of it. We won't know until the Lord comes down and says, "Hey, this is what they are. Leave them alone. Stay away from them." And I will not argue. I have no problem leaving them alone. Hey, Prudently, I seen your name. I didn't see you pop up, but I see many of our family is welcoming you, and Sharon's here. Awesome. All right. Y'all wanna do another one? We got this one. It's not that long. It's 3 pages. I've got to get somewhere. I got a lemon jawbreaker, and it's stuck in the side of my tooth over here. And it's not tasting like lemon no more. It's tasting like a piece of a rubber band. All right, we'll do this one, and then we've got so many, and Brother Don's going to be sending some more over to us, and we'll just we'll do them as they come. But we'll do this one, and then we'll see what happens from there. All right. This is Meadville, Mississippi's strange, terrible creature, dated 1868. The location is Meadville, Mississippi, in Franklin County. The newspaper source for this article is the Daily Herald of Dubuque, Iowa. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Dubuque. Dubuque, I think Dubuque, Iowa. June 27th of 1868. The preface. In 1961, Ivan T. Sanderson received a letter from an educated woman with an M.A. in zoology who noted that she grew up hearing stories about the little red men of the Delta. She said they were supposed to be about the size of a 10-year-old kid and able to climb to climb like monkeys and to live back from the bayous. She was unsure if they were human or ape. A what is it seen in Mississippi, a strange and terrible creature pursued by dogs and hunters. The correspondence of the St. Louis Dispatch. A strange visaged creature, apparently one of nature's prodigies, has just been discovered near Meadville, Franklin County, Mississippi, causing much excitement in that usually monotonous village. A letter from a friend residing in the above-named village, dated June 4th, says M, the letter M, at this time is very much agitated on account of the strange creature seen near here. It is said to be similar to the one seen near Vicksburg last fall. This Vicksburg paper, of a date some few days subsequent to the discovery of this strange creature near that place, gave a full description of it in the manner in which it was discovered, which, given from memory, is in substance about as follows. Sometime in September last, as a party of huntsmen were driving in the swamps some miles from the river, a trail was taken by the hounds and followed up at a brisk pace, leaving the party far behind. In flowing after, I guess it's supposed to be following. In following after the dogs, they discovered the tracks of a human foot, and they observed also that the toes of one foot turned backward. On coming up with the dogs, who were now baying, they beheld a frightful-looking creature of about the average height of man, but with far greater muscular development, standing menacingly a few yards in front of the dogs. It had long coarse hair flowing from its head and reaching near its knees. Its entire body also seemed to be covered with hair of 2 or 3 inches in length, which was of a dark brown color. From its upper jaw projected 2 very large tusks, several inches long. Its head and face, as well as could be determined from the distance of the observers, before striking a resemblance to that of a Negro, except that the chin and cheeks were covered with long hair. On the near approach of the hunters, it fled toward the Mississippi River and was not overtaken again until within a few yards of the bank. When the party came up with the dogs the second time, the monster was standing erect before them, none of them having yet dared to clinch with it. But when the dogs were urged by their masters, they endeavored to seize it. When it reached forward and grabbed one of them, and taking it in its hands, pressed it against its tusk, which pierced it through and killed it instantly. Becoming alarmed at the display of strength, the hunters fired several shots at the creature, which caused it to leap into the river. It remained underwater several minutes and then rose almost its entire length above the surface, uttering shrieks which almost petrified the pursuers with terror. No similar sound had ever come to the ears of these men, who were familiar with the howl of the wolf, the whine of the panther, and the hoarse bellowing of the gator. After sinking and rising several times, it swam to the Louisiana shore and disappeared. This report of the huntsmen created quite a stir and considerable speculation among the theorists, and much greater amount of fear among the commonalty, who looked at the thing in a practical point of view. But, however, as time rolled away and no new discoveries were made concerning the monstrosity, the excitement died away, and the strange individual had almost ceased to be thought of, long before its second appearance. Meadville, where it has last appeared, is about 40 miles east of the Mississippi River, and I suppose near 100 miles from Vicksburg. Throughout Franklin County, there are retreats especially adapted to the accommodation of wild beasts, such as the high barren hills, ravines, and the dense, vine-matted swamps of the Homachita River. It is highly probable that this is the same creature seen near Vicksburg, and for fear that it is the only living specimen of that genus, some of our scientific men who were ambitious of contributing a mite to natural history should contrive to become acquainted with its nativity, lineage, characteristics, etc., and give them publicity, that they may take the place of the fear and speculation that are now prevailing. And that's a new one. Have any of y'all heard that one before? Whatever that was, from what I understand, it had a big tusk coming out, and he picked the dog up and just pushed the dog to his face and impaled the dog with his tusk and killed it. That sounds like a demon to me. It's just my opinion, folks. Please don't jump on me, but that literally sounds like a demon. You know, I've seen a few of the Bigfoot creatures, and I know a lot of people that have seen them. I've spoke to a lot who have seen them, and I've never heard anybody mention them having tusks. I've heard, of them having the big canine teeth before, but not tusks where they could just impale a dog by pushing it against the tusk. That's scary. That's very scary. I don't like that one at all. Let me see what we got. We may do another one if y'all are up. I think we got about 70 people here tonight. Let's see. We got some short ones if you guys are up for it. I believe that, yeah, this is some of these short ones. Now you got to take into account these were written well over 100 years ago, and so the language, the dialect, everything about how these people spoke, how they their grammar, everything about it was different than where we are today. And some of them, the punctuation, that these are copies that were printed off of articles that were written many years ago, and a lot of it, the punctuation is horrible, and it's kind of hard to read it when you have a sentence that has 9 commas in them, and that's the majority of these. They're loaded with commas in every sentence, far more than would be normal. But I'm trying. We'll push through them, and here we'll do a. Let me see. Ooh, that'd be a good one. All right. All right, this one. This is Oklahoma man-beast creature encounters between 1849 and 1926. The locations of these encounters is the McCurtain County includes Goodwater, Naugatuck County, and Mountain Fork River, Leflore County, and this is all in Oklahoma. And the information source is Board and Board in 2006. All right, the first encounter, this would be 1849. In 2006, Board and Board noted the report of a strange critter that apparently matched that of a hairy primate seen by a hunter in the swamps of McCurtain County. In 1915 is our next one. In 2006, Board and Board noted a report by Crum King who saw a hairy man-like creature standing near the gate to his home in New Wan, Oklahoma. In this one encounters 1926. In 2006, Board and Board noted a report from the Goodwater area by a doctor who saw a thing run across the road in front of his Model T Ford. And also in 1926, Board and Board noted the report by two hunters in the Mountain Fork River region who saw a man-beast which later killed their dog. And that's dated 1926 is when that report came in. But it wasn't put out on paper until 2006, if I'm understanding that right. All right, this one, yeah, this is a good one. Oh, I almost knocked the camera over. Sorry about that. Okay, this one is not long. This one's strange. Anyway, and these are articles. These are old news articles. This is the Waukesha, Saskatchewan, Canada Wendigo encounter of 1935. The location, excuse me, Waukesha, Saskatchewan, Canada, Prince Albert National Park. The newspaper source for this article is the Times of Hammond, Indiana, November 12, 1935. The preface. This particular report should be classified as unlikely in relevance to Bigfoot, but is an interesting location with present-day sightings. A ghostly figure haunts Indians in North Wilds. Waukesha, Saskatchewan, appearance of a weird hooded figure which stalks and attacks settlers during the night has aroused fears among Indians and superstitious whites that a Wendigo, which is native for Wendigo, mythical Indian devil, again is roaming this northern country. The legendary evil spirit is described as a ghost-like figure of a man wearing a sack over the head with slits cut out for eyes. Several settlers and Indians have reported to police that the figure had sneaked near their lonely homes and camps in the north area around the national park and frightened them with weird antics. One Indian said the figure stalked out of a bush to his camp, seized a kettle of boiling water and threw it at him, scalding his back. Indians in the district swear the figure is a Wendigo, an evil spirit with no eyes and no mouth. White settlers say it is a crazy Indian. The spirit disappeared after wandering around for several weeks, but the Indians predict it will return. You think that was a real Wendigo, a real creature, or do you guys believe that was some crazed fellow, old drunk, or a dopey person? I do not know how I missed this one. Um, yeah, this is one I missed, and I don't know how I did that, but that's okay. Alright, we're going to do one more. I'm not sure where my battery's at right now. Um, yeah, Dale, if you want to send that, if you'd like to share it, I will absolutely share it for you. I've got to find one. C Now had sent us one, I believe. I believe that's who had sent the last one. And we've been so busy, I have not been able to. We don't have the printer hooked up yet. I haven't had time. And so I have to actually take the emails and go into Lynn Haven, Florida, to the UPS store, and then forward the email to them, and then they print them up for me. That's how I'm printing them now. And I've not had time, and now I can't find the email. I've got it, I just got to locate it. But the email is standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com. If you have something you'd like to share, and just let me know if you want to use your name or if you want to be anonymous, please. Alright, this, we'll do this one. It's short, and this will be the last one for tonight. I just don't want my battery to run dead and this thing just to cut off. Alright, this is the Oconee County, South Carolina monster animal encounter of 1889. The location is the Oconee County, South Carolina, east of Tugaloo River. The newspaper source for this article is the Observer Journal of Dunkirk, New York, dated July 16th, 1889. A monster animal. He was 7 feet high, covered with hair, and walked erect. During the time the Indians were in the South, a hunting party established a camp east of Tugaloo River in what is now Oconee County, South Carolina, says the Clarksville, Georgia Advertiser. One day, they all went hunting, leaving a deer they had killed the evening previous at the camp. At night, when the Indians returned to camp, the deer was gone, and the next day the same thing was repeated. When they concluded to leave an old Indian to guard the camp and see what went with their deer, that day the old Indian saw a monster animal come and carry off the deer, and was afraid to make any attempt to kill the monster, which was about 7 feet high and walked erect like a man, hairy all over, and its mouth was in the chin, and great claws on the fingers and toes. The next day all 7 of the Indians stayed at the camp, and as usual the monster came, gathered up the deer, and started off, when one of them fired at it, the ball taking effect in the back. The animal dropped the deer and turned and started toward them, when the other 6 poured a volley into its breast, and it fell dead. About 3 hours later, after the Indians heard a noise like someone howling about a mile distant, "Yahoo! Yahoo! Yahoo!" The Indians left the camp and called on the posse comitatus for protection, when a party of whites on horses with all the dogs they could get went in search of the other animal and found it. It was like the one the Indians killed, and they put the dogs after it. When the men appeared in sight, the animal would run, but it could whip every dog they could get after it. The party pursued it to the river, and at jumps it went across. And this is the wording messed up, I'm sorry. The party pursued it to the river, and at jumps it went across the river over into Habersham County, and was shot by a party soon after it crossed the river. I think I'd heard that one once before somewhere, or one similar. But I'm gonna cut it there. We're gonna be getting the next show we do. We're gonna be getting into the alien UFO thing. We've got some stuff that we're gonna be sharing with you, and this is thanks to our brother Don Moore, who's with us tonight. He's with us almost every time we're here. Yeah, Francesca, that's all we're going to do tonight. I'm on battery power only on my camera. I'm using my tablet. We're trying to get this room organized and cleaned up to where I can fix whatever that buzzing sound is that I'm getting in the microphone. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. God bless you all. I'm glad y'all came here. I'm absolutely blessed, to be in the presence of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for jumping over and hanging out. It is a blessing indeed. But we will soon. Things will slow down, and I'll be able to get back to the shows regularly. We got so much going on. It's a lot for the two of us to handle. I will absolutely tell them. Sharon says good night, baby.
Good night, Sharon.
Rosie is spending the night with her Aunt Debbie tonight. So she's not here with us. It's just Kim and I. But thank you all. Hopefully, by the time we do the next show, when we go into the UFO alien side, I'll have the computer set back up, and I pray that the microphone buzzing is fixed. Bless you. Bless you. Everybody on YouTube just heard you sneeze.
That was quiet. Oh.
Normally she sneezes and gives me a heart attack. Let's see. Guys, I don't know how to pull the comments up that have passed. I've got a message thing on here, but I'm afraid to touch it. I do not want to knock myself out. It's putting them on the side of the screen. I can read them as they come up, but well, they just went away again. They fade off really quick, and I know I've missed so many of them. And I really need to be doing this on StreamYard so that I can go back through the comments and see who we need to get prayers out for. We get a lot of people that need help. They need the Lord's intervention. And the only way to make that happen is where 3 or more of us come together and pray for that person. And that's what we really need to do. But I want to make sure you guys know how much we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Texas Jack. Thank each and every one of you. It's always such a blessing to have you guys here. It makes for a perfect ending to a rough day, and we're very, very grateful for that. Yeah. Kelly says you need prayers for your friend Rebecca. She had a stroke and 5 blood clots in her head. Oh, Lord. And I cannot highlight it. Oh, gee whiz. Let me see if... I don't know what it's going to do. Or it's not going to let me highlight it and put it on the screen. I am so sorry. But Kelly says she needs prayers for her friend Rebecca. She's had a stroke and has 5 blood clots in her head. Please, please, please make sure you guys pray for Rebecca. Now my comments have froze. Oh, gee whiz, I'm so sorry. See if I think it'll work now. Nope. I do not like the way the YouTube Live works. Guys, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Francesca, and for anybody who's reposting prayer requests that people have put up in the chat. Thank you so much. Please Anytime you see a prayer request, especially if I'm reading, I'm not paying attention to what's in the chat. I cannot multitask. I never really could, but when I got hurt, it kind of made it worse. I could snap my finger and walk before, and now I can't do that. But anytime you see that somebody, part of our family here, or even if it's an outsider just hopping over for a minute, if they put up a prayer request, guys, please make sure to throw it back up in chat. Let's keep it circulating, because a lot of people, they may walk away for a second, and you don't know who all is carrying that. When you come across that one person that is carrying such a heavy and powerful dose of the Holy Spirit on them, they could say one prayer and absolutely affect an entire nation. And we have those people here with us. We don't know who they are. The Lord knows. Only the Lord knows. But they're here. And we want to make sure that everybody sees when we have people requesting prayers, people who need help. There's people that don't believe, but a prayer could change their life if they're in a bad way and they're asking for help. We go to the Lord for help. If we can help monetarily for somebody, then we'll do that too. But prayer is always priority. Thank you all. Thank you so very much. I'm going to do a closing prayer, and then we will shut this down for tonight. But I just want to thank you all again. I can't say it enough. I love each and every one of you. You guys and gals are what makes this what it is. Without y'all, we wouldn't have nothing. I'd be here by myself. I'd still be here, but I'd be here by myself. And y'all are it. Yeah, absolutely. Dale, God answers prayers. He's not only the engine, he's the fuel for the engine. He is all of it. And we've got to learn to rely on him a little more than what we do. And that's all of us. That's me. That's all of us worldwide. Just like, our creator is just like safety. You can never be too safe. You can be perfect in all the gear you wear, but you can always show signs of improvement. In safety, you could have signs of improvement in prayer, or in your life, in your marriage, whatever it may be. There's always room for improvement. God bless you, Brother Butch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But thank you all. I'll do a closing prayer.
I'm putting in one for Caroline.
Do what, babe?
I just put a prayer request in for Caroline.
Yes. Our sister Caroline, her grandson Eli, and his girlfriend. If you guys, I think most of you have heard about it. They finally located them, and they were deceased, the two of them. That was Eli and his girlfriend. And the family is having a rough time at that. Losing a child, a grandchild, a mother, a father. Losing anyone is hard. It's really hard. It doesn't just hit you here, it hits you here. It hits you everywhere. So please keep our sister Caroline and her husband and their family, their entire family, in your prayers as well. Now we're going to get this on the road. I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer, and we'll just do like an umbrella prayer to cover everyone here. Here we go. Our Father, art in heaven, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for this opportunity you've blessed us with, for all of us to come together and enjoy each other's presences, and just have a good night, sharing these articles, these old articles that interest us and fascinate us. Father, I ask that you intervene in everyone's life here, and those that are not here, and those that just need you. Father, there's many people that are sick, there's many that are injured, there's many that are just lonely and brokenhearted. Father, step in, remove those nasty words from their mind, the suicide, the homicide, the anger, the hatred, the curse words, the racism. Remove it all. Clean their minds, clean their hearts, clean their spirits, and bless them, that there's room, that they all shall receive healing. Father, we ask that you lay hands on those who are in dire need, that you lighten their mind, you lighten their soul, that they feel your presence and they know that you're there with them. Father, comfort them, bless them, that they know that they're loved, that they know that they have a special place in your heart. Father, guide them, that they honor you through their actions and words, and they fulfill the will that you've placed in their lives. Father, I ask that you be with me and my family, including all who are here with us tonight. We are all related through Christ, through Yeshua, your Son. And I ask that you just extend your hand and touch everybody who's here with us, and fill them with love, joy, and happiness, and bless us that we may find that road to prosperity, and we may find that road to great health, and then we may find that road to success in all of life's challenges. We love you, we honor you, and we thank you for all things in Christ Yeshua. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Guys, thank you all. Again, thank you. I'm going to try to, when we do the next one, I don't know exactly which day we're going to do it. I'm going to try to do it earlier. There's so many people that are here with us that work, and some of these people are working very long hours, and for them to stay up late when we run, if the show runs 2 hours, 3 hours, a lot of these people have to get up, and it's hard on them. So I'm going to try to do them a little earlier. We'll never set it up right to where everybody can be here with us, because we have different shifts people work. There's just so many changing variables that we'll never allow all of us to be here at one time. But I just want to make it to where it's just a little easier for the majority of us, and if we could cater to everybody independently, I absolutely would. I just seen Brother Chris in there somewhere. There he is. Yeah, we're fixing to pile up in the bed, brother. It's been a long day. But guys, y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless each and every one of you. If there's anything I can do to help you, if there's anything that you need that I can provide, or my wife can provide, please email me at standingghostrescue@yahoo.com. If you have something you'd like to share with us here, something you want to share with our family on YouTube, if you want to come on yourself and share it, you're absolutely welcome to do that. If you want me to share it for you, we will do that as well. Just please let me know if you want to be anonymous or not. If I don't know, I'm not going to put your name out there just in case, because sometimes people forget to put that in. And if I say their name and they didn't want it mentioned, it could cause some trouble for them, and I don't want to do that. But thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Y'all have a phenomenal evening, and I will absolutely be seeing you guys soon. God bless you, and always be safe. We'll see you.